Good day, boys and girls. What a beautiful day it is. Have you taken a look outside? I have. And I've drawn a breath of fresh air. To start today's lesson, I would love for us to take a walk in the garden. So come along, let's go. What do we have here? It's a literature tree. Can you believe that? Not just any tree, but a literature tree. And it has 3 branches. Boys and girls, point to note, there are 3 aspects in literature. That means English B has 3 major components. Let's see what the branches are called. Prose, poetry, and drama. Last term, you looked at stories, didn't you? Yes. Now this term, we're on to poetry. Do you like poems? Have you ever read a poem? Do you know what a poem is? Stick around. We'll learn all there is to know about poems. And we'll have fun while learning. Pop, pop, popcorn. Popping in the pot. Pop, pop, popcorn. Eat it while it's hot. Pop, pop, popcorn. Butter on the top. When I eat popcorn, I can't stop. Did you see that? We just highlighted several qualities of popcorn in that one short piece of writing. Let's look. We get to imagine the seeds bursting open. Pop! The act and the sound made. We see one method of making popcorn over fire in a pot. We can imagine how good it tastes when it's hot. Then, when you put some butter on top of that, can you imagine the deliciousness of that? And the smells makes me want to go into the kitchen to get some right away. Popcorn. So then, what is a poem? A poem is a concise piece of writing that expresses feelings, ideas, and experiences using figurative language. People have been writing poems for thousands of years. A person who writes a poem is called a poet. Let's take a look at another. It's titled, I Ate a Chili Pepper. I ate a chili pepper on a lunchtime dare. Sandy said it burned my mouth, but I didn't care. I ate that chili pepper, left not a seed to waste, and won that truly silly bet, but lost my sense of taste. You can imagine what he's going through, can't you? Have you ever had such an experience? There's one particular sound we make when our mouths feel hot after something chilly. Could you make that sound? And then you start shaking your fingers, don't you? Let's look at one more thing before we end today's lesson. The difference between poems and stories. Or we're going to look at the structural difference between poetry and prose. You can tell the difference between a poem and a story by just looking at them. Stories are written in sentence form, from the left side of the page straight across to the right side. With poems, the words are more left-aligned, centralized, or they can be written in any form of shape. Yes, you heard right. I can have a poem written in any shape, like an umbrella or a star. How can that be? Stories are written in detail. They take on a natural conversational style and stress on information, but not so with poems. Poems are concise. It is a bunch of ideas put together into a nutshell. The poet uses creative ways to say lots of things using just a few words. Do you think you can write a poem? Yes. Yes, you can. And have you understood today's lesson? I think it's as clear as day. Now, let's recap. Today, we took a walk in the garden. There, we found a literature tree. We saw 3 branches and identified the 3 major components in English B. Do you remember what those are? If you said poetry, drama, and prose, then you are correct. Then we read 2 poems and discussed their contents. There, we realized that poems are content-rich because they contain everything the poet wants to say in a creative, short piece of writing. Lastly, do you remember what the writer of a poem is called? A poet. Yay! You did it! Good job. All right then. That's all for now, boys and girls. Bye-bye.